One, two, three. Your audio is muted. Not yet. Of course, mine might be muted too. I don't know. Let me see. No, yeah, your mute. Your audio is still out.
Muted. There we go.
There it goes.
Yeah, I could hear you first when you was talking.
Okay. Well, they should be starting any time now.
Cool. I was gonna go, but I got a dental abscess. It's just killing me. Sitting here with my bottle of Listerine,
There you go.
gargling that and trying to get it to calm down. I should have went. Could see if Jack falls asleep again yet.
Yeah, I heard about that. I kind of saw it a little bit, but it's a long drive for me. I live down in Green Cove Springs, and
That's where my brother lives.
does he? All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull an address up here. Green Cove Springs. Coldstream Lane.
I have no idea what that is.
Comes off of Russell Road.
I know where Russell Road is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Russell Road kind of runs northwest, north southeast.
yeah.
They're on the southwest side of Russell Road. I forget what the name of the subdivision was. Let me see. Give me a picture of that. Something Creek. Hold on. Cross Creek. It's got a big yellow looking, almost like a little lighthouse there.
Yeah. Seems like
Hey,
everyone has a lighthouse. No, I'm a little further south, not much further, but a little bit further south. I'm off of 16.
oh, okay. How'd you add your background back there?
You know, I forget how I did it, but it's definitely not my room. My room is a mess, which is why I've got the background going. But
Right.
I just did a search online for just a ham shack background and found that one. I like that, but I forget now how I added it to
Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah, I just mess around with
Okay.
it.
Cool.
I don't even know how to turn it off. I'm sure I could play with it and figure it out, but it makes me look important.
Ah, sitting out here on my back porch. Got a pond in front of me. A couple radios over here on my left side. Watching the sunset down in front.
Yeah, it'll be down soon.
Yep. I sent Jack a text message like a week ago. He finally sends me a response like 10 minutes ago. He said, I'll see you soon. I said, no, you won't. I'll be at home on the Zoom.
Yeah, I had thought about attending. 'Cause I work in Mandarin. I can get there in about 20 minutes from work, but then it's like a hour drive to get home. And
Mhm.
when it's a school night or work night or whatever, that's just a long drive. So I do the next best thing and attend virtually.
Who the heck is Jacob Barth?
I'm not sure.
Who are you, Jacob?
See if I can figure out how to unmute myself. It's Whiskey
Oh,
9 Juliet Whiskey Bravo over here.
oh, there you go. Say your call again, please.
Whiskey 9 Juliet Whiskey Bravo. We met a couple times. I'm usually there at the meeting, but can't make it tonight, so I figured I'd hop on the Zoom.
Yeah, that's the way to go. I hadn't.
If you go into your profile, you can set your name to, have your call in front of it like us.
Yeah, I'm about to go do that. I just hopped in.
Sweet. Well,
see if I can. Well, I broke something. There we go.
Broke something. Oh,
Well, my screen froze for a minute.
bam. Jake fixed it. W9JWB.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
The Jacksonville, North Florida Amateur Radio Society, 146.7 repeater.
No farce.
PM.
I guess they don't have the camera set up at the meeting yet, I suppose.
Evidently not.
Oh, they're there. They're probably, they got two places, either in the church or in the gym. So they're probably over in the gym. No, wait. I'm thinking something totally different. Yeah, I am thinking of the same place.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing renovations over there, so I'm not sure if they've figured out where they're going to set up or not because there are renovations going on.
Heck, it might just be us, yeah, sitting here looking at each other all night.
Well, that's a scary thought. There
So where are
we go.
you at, Jake? What physical location are you at? What side of town?
I'm up in North Jacksonville area, the Ocean Way area
Oh, okay.
in North Jack.
I'm down here on the east side, Kernan and Atlantic.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
normally it's only about 20 minutes or so to down to the church as well for me, but I got doing something.
Yeah.
Change my.
It was kind of a pain to get down there today, so
Well, it's a little after 7, and there's no one showing up yet. Like I said, they're probably listening to us and laughing right now.
yeah, I know Jan. I mean, I talked to Jan a little while ago.
Yeah, I did some texting with him this morning.
Well, all it takes is somebody there to go Zoom on their phone, set their phone there, and
Yeah, I think they use a laptop. I think Jan kind of volunteered to be the cameraman.
uh,
So
okay.
see if I can.
I just shot him a text and let him know we're sitting here in the Zoom.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do myself.
Kilo Whiskey 4, Mike Yankee.
This is the repeater.
I'm sure they'll get there eventually.
Oh, yeah. You're not awesome unless you're fashionably late.
Oh, I must be pretty awesome then.
You were punctual. You were actually early.
Yeah. Well, I turned everything on about 6:45ish, maybe a little sooner. But I've been playing on the computer
Yeah.
and playing on the radio and watching some YouTube videos. So
Yeah.
but something will happen soon, I'm sure. And hopefully there's enough people there to, have the meeting, cause last time there's only like half a dozen people there, I think.
Yeah, last month we had, I don't know, I think we had about eight or nine last week.
Yeah,
Well, not last week, but last month.
last month, yeah. Where they had the camera position, I can only see like maybe 5 or 6 people. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
there was
knew,
a couple others behind the camera section where where we had the camera set up, just trying to
yeah.
get the best view we could. We'll step out for a minute. I'll be back in a few, and hopefully he'll be back by then.
Alrighty, sounds
I
good.
do that.
Yeah, we'll be here. Well, I mean, we know someone's there because they started, unless it starts automatically. But I don't know if that works or not. Does someone have to physically start the meeting? I mean, as far as on the Zoom.
Not that I know of. I think it's just, it's a placeholder and we just log in and we all go to the one spot and then
Yeah,
they're supposed to come in with their whatever Zoom device they have. And
yeah. Well, I've texted 2 people.
who you text, Jan?
I texted Jan and another guy named Richard that I know. He
Oh,
he and I used to be real active in range years ago, and he's just now getting back active in radio about 2 or 3 couple of years ago. And
oh,
matter of fact, he was president of range for about 2 years.
hmm.
But that was back in the early 2000s. Plug up my phone before it dies on me.
Oh, in 2000s. You realize that's almost a quarter of a century ago?
Yeah, man. My son was born in 2000. He'll be 25 this year. So you're right.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to when he was a baby, up until he's about 4 years old. Well, no, older than that, about 6. We used to, my ex-wife and I, we used to take him to all the meetings with us. I mean, from so from infant, from being a baby up to about 5 years old, he went all the meetings with us. He was well known. He'd play around at the meeting.
You ever get him to get a ticket?
No, I need to talk to him, see if he's interested in it. He's teaching school nowadays.
Ah, he's probably tied up then.
Oh,
You,
he stays busy.
you got 50 kids in your classroom. You ain't got time for nothing.
Yeah. He teaches middle school as well, which is remarkable.
Wow. Takes a lot of patience to deal with those kids nowadays.
Yeah, and we need good teachers. And I know he's my son. I'm probably a little biased, but he's a good teacher. He's a good person for doing that kind of stuff. He has a passion for it.
Yeah.
No one has responded to any of my texts.
Well, that's okay. I ain't got nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
No,
I might
I
run
was
in there and grab something to eat, maybe. I don't know.
I had fried chicken. I stopped at Publix on the way home, picked up a box of fried chicken.
Yeah, I can't even chew chicken right now. This tooth killing me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's 4 of them actually that are hurting right now. 4 of them. Need to go and get a prescription for some antibiotics, and then in about a week or 2, go get them all yanked. They're all on the left side.
Calling Richard now, but I think he normally turns his phone off when he. Hey, Richard. Hey, have you guys? Because we're on the Zoom, and there's nothing. We can't. There's no camera, nothing turned on that side. He's getting set up now. All right. Well, tell him to hurry up. We're waiting on him. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah. All right, Richard. Yeah, tell them to turn the camera on as soon as they can. Thanks, man. Yeah, they're all there. They're just running their mouth. They hadn't turned the camera on yet.
Yeah. We're not missing nothing. They're chit chatting. We're chit chatting.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to when I lived in Jacksonville, I used to go, like I said, used to go to all the meetings and all that kind of stuff. I miss that, and I've been to about 3 of the meetings in the past year. But like I said, it's such a long drive.
How far down are you?
Like I said, I'm right there at um I'm right off the 16 near US 17.
Oh, okay.
If you know, I don't know how familiar you are with Green Cove, but if you know where the railroad tracks are on State Road 16, I'm right near there. Not 16, but where they cross 17. I'm
Oh, you're south of my brother.
yeah.
Yeah. You're actually down toward the actual city of Green Cove.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can walk to the like downtown area. It's like I'm like a
Oh,
mile
okay.
from there.
Okay. Ugh. Yeah, that's a nice nondescript station behind you.
Yeah. Like I said, my room right now is a wreck. Like it almost always is, and so I just like I said, I found me. I had another one I started using, but I like this one better.
Mm.
I've had a couple of people ask me, "Is that your shack?" I said, "Nope."
It is for
There's
20 minutes while I'm on this meeting.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I've got my bed next to that when my our granddaughter comes over, she sleeps in there. Well, you can't see it, but it's right there.
Right, right,
Then
right,
behind
right.
me, I got my closet door, which is open. You can see all my messy clothes, and
Oh, okay.
next
Well,
to me, I got so it's a wreck.
it's doing a good job. I don't see nothing behind you except for
Yeah.
I see your back of your chair right over your shoulder. That's it.
Yeah, I think if I lean back a little bit only, but it's amazing how that technology works, how it knows to filter everything else out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But the only time I use Zoom is when I'm on the range meetings. If I normally use Google Meet. My dad and I we chat. Of course, he's only in McClenny, so that's just right down an hour away. But he and I will chat 2 or 3 nights a week and play some games and stuff. And a couple of
Uh,
times I've got the family. I got some family in Mississippi, my sister in Connecticut. We'll all have like a family meeting.
Family meeting.
Yeah, just kind of catch up and everything. But I've got to host it because no one else knows how to set things up. So I have to tell them what to do to just to log into it.
Hmm.
And the meeting's going to be over before we get the camera
Ah,
turned on.
they ain't gonna start the meeting until they get the cameras up. So, do you live in an HOA?
No, no, I live in a tiny little house
Mm-hmm.
and no HOAs. I didn't want an HOA.
Okay.
Yeah, neither did I, but I unfortunately ended up with an HOA.
Yeah.
I bought my
Unfortunately.
house in 2021. And unfortunately, the amount of houses available in 2021 was very, very limited. COVID housing, there was just, my realtor was like, last year at this same time, I would have had 140 houses. I needed a 2-car garage, a decent sized yard, 3 bedrooms. And he was like, last year at this time, I'd have had 140 houses to show you. Right now, I have 9. And he's like,
Yep.
9 is kind of stretching it. Realistically, I have 4 that truly meet everything you asked for, and another couple I'll show you because they're pretty close. I was like, holy cow. So I didn't have a lot of options.
Who do you use
Yeah.
for a realtor?
So unfortunately, I mean, my house is a good house. I can't complain too much, but unfortunately, it is an HOA. Luckily, they're not too crazy in the HOA. You know, we don't really have any crazy people reporting
That's
shit
good.
here. But
That's good.
I mean, I try to keep my lawn at bay and stuff. But every now and then they're stupid. Like I got a notice once for my trash cans being out. It was trash day. Like, okay, who was being a negative Nancy today that is sending out notices on trash day that my trash cans are out? Like, of course they're out. But whatever.
Were they out like too early or too late?
I don't know. Apparently they're supposed to be in by a certain time or some crap. I don't know. Again, most people in our community are just like, nah, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
I get notices and I just shred them. I don't care.
I had a buddy, he was in an HOA, and the way he worked around, I don't say worked around it, but he became a member of the HOA so he could have some input on what the rules were and everything. And he said they had a lot of stupid rules. So he petitioned to have a lot of them taken off. They were just ridiculous, like the trash can. Like if it was like later than 6 o'clock, they'd fine you or whatever if you had them out too early. And so he got ones like that taken off the list or off the agenda, I guess.
Yeah, some of the rules are, stupid, but it's what it is.
I've got a cousin here locally in Jacksonville that does real estate.
And my realtor that we used was actually one of my coworkers. He did real estate on the side, so he helped us get in here. Because actually, our house never officially went on the market because we were driving out here looking for houses and we saw they were remodeling this one or flipping it. More accurate. It was being flipped. So I called him and he called somebody, and so we kind of bought it before it went officially on the market.
Yeah, when I bought my house, again, like there wasn't a lot available. So I saw a Zillow listing pop up for my house. I think it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I saw it pop up. I was like, that looks like it's pretty nice and it meets what I'm looking for. So I sent my realtor a text. In about 20 minutes of listing, we had a viewing set up. About an hour after the list, we were looking at the house, and another half hour later, we had an offer in on it, and we put a pretty short fuse on our offer. Like they only had about 8 hours to decide if they were going to take my offer or not.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, at the time, a lot of those cash offer guys were coming through, and listing would say 250 or 300 or whatever, and a cash offer would come in for 310. Well, of course, the seller's going to take the cash offer over listing every single time.
Sure.
We tried to kind of force the hand of the people selling it, not to give them enough time for a cash offer to come in. Fortunately, they accepted the offer, but
Very good then.
it's a bit of a pain in the butt because we tried to put a couple other offers in on another house we wanted, and we were about to submit an offer, and my realtor knew the other realtors. We gave her a call and said, hey, we're going to put an offer in. And the lady's like, you can put one in, but we already have 2 cash offers, $30,000 over list. And I was like, well, no point then. I ain't paying $30,000 over list, and I ain't got cash. So it was just a little annoying at times.
I'm gonna go grab some cough drops so I don't be coughing during this whole meeting.
All right. Well, we'll be here.
I see how I can play with these backgrounds here. I'll play with them when I get back.
Okay. Well, here's There's somebody's radio in the background. Is that yours, Jake, or was that John's?
No, I think that was his, not mine.
Oh, let me turn that down.
You
Sorry.
you can leave it on. It's not bothering me. I'm just curious. You can leave it on, John. That's fine.
It's 147.000.
Oh, it's Callahan. Yeah.
Well, every national park has a gun range. One in Osceola and there's one in Calhoun. They are free to use. Sometimes I've seen it get a little rambunctious out there. I didn't want to hang around that crowd, but if it's on the right day, catch it early in the morning. Sometimes it's a good place to go sight your rifle in if they got a pistol range too. That's over Baker County, right? Well, part of Baker, but the range is in Columbia County. Go into the edge of Lake City there, and Jen, on the east side of Lake City.
Yeah. Apparently, this will give me eyebrows. Let me see.
They're playing with.
The
I think.
filters and stuff. Yeah.
I want to see if I can find a background that makes you look up sitting on the toilet or something. I don't really get some attention. All right.
Oh, look at my eyebrows.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, virtual backgrounds. You must have uploaded your background or something.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I found it online.
Oh. Says I can blur everything out behind me. Let's see. What
Yeah,
that does.
yeah, I've done that a few times too. There you go. Now it's just you.
Yeah. I'm in the McGrath. I'm in space. Wow. I'm on the beach.
There you go. That's what you need right there. Get yourself a tall, cold one.
Yeah. Got my fruit punch here. Mm. That's amazing. They still ain't got it running.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got-
Richard. He just texted me and said they just got in the room. Should be set up soon. So maybe another few more minutes.
Avatar. Oh, I could be a cat or a dog here. Let's see.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about these things, just playing with the backgrounds and stuff. When my father and I first started doing this a couple years ago, we spent the first hour, I think, just playing with backgrounds and stuff.
Avatar. Let's see what I look like here. Well, I can. Oh, okay. Huh. That's stupid. Oh. In that. Play with that.
Way, no matter where I go.
Said something about around in the chamber in a magazine. I said, oh, he's talking about
Well,
guns.
Marvin, you know what they call an unloaded pistol? It's a hammer, I guess.
Is that Callahan again?
Yeah, they're on Callahan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, getting old has its merits because you don't get out that much, so you don't have.
I leave it on there a lot because they do a lot of rag chewing,
Society's getting weirder about
Yeah.
pretty okay with it.
and I get bored, so I listen to them. I can hit it pretty good from here. I just hauled a little diamond dual band vertical. It's only about 4 or 5 feet long. Just hauled it up in a tree about 50 feet. It's work.
Yeah, you should be able to hit it pretty well though. I can hit it most of the time out here. I'm about maybe 18 feet up in the air on my antenna.
Uh-oh. Now we have a host. Dang it. All the fun is gone now.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I would imagine that when
I
you're
can see the wall.
to and
Oh,
fro,
I see it. That's somebody's t-shirt.
That's Jan, I think.
Hey, Jan, cover your titties.
Oh, that could be. Well, it's hard to say unless it's Daniel.
I don't know. I'm gonna maximize his screen. Don't rush me. I'm waiting for the last minute.
Yeah, obviously. Oh, he turned it off. You must have hurt his feelings.
Oh no. Dang it.
We don't stop on the side of the road. We don't stop at the market or the gas station. Left is transport. And once you get out the other states, which
He probably just lost connection or something.
Yeah.
yeah, you never know what kind of guy you got back there. You know, hopefully they behave, but that's not always the case when you get that kind of client
Oh.
along with you. KM4MCS. You're right. Don't take any chance. Well, Marvin, I know you didn't fall off the turnip truck last night, so you've been around enough to know what to look for. You probably just about sensing when something do falls, gonna do something dumb. But anyway, hope you had a good day in there, and I hope none of them did that today.
Let's see if we can make something happen.
Yep, I transported 3 today too. There, coffee can pick up 1 and started back for release. That was my accident. Well, Texas, you know, we were bringing that guy back for release from Coffee County. He was probably singing all the way back to Folkston.
Trying to find.
Why he was being brought back.
Now, where do I change my background? I forgot.
Oh, go into video, that little arrow that's next to it, right to the right of
Oh,
video
I see.
pointing up.
Okay. I see.
It says blur video, choose video filter, choose avatar.
Let's see. View filters, virtual backgrounds. How much? It's been so long since I've done this. I gotta remember how to do everything.
So every now and then, you know, that second or third or fourth or fifth chance.
Oh, there's Daniel.
Having technical difficulties, guys. Bear with us.
Yeah.
I trust you two to work it out. You guys will figure it out.
Yes, sir, in that business, and that's a small town up there. I imagine you see some familiar faces come and go like a revolving door.
There we go. Add image. Pictures.
I like Dan.
Yeah,
Dan's
he's pretty.
cool.
He's pretty cool. There you go.
Yeah, how many Dan will disappear?
With the casinos, if you visit often, they'll comp your room.
Let's see about this one.
We got room for them once in a while. But I look at it like this. I'm actually doing human trafficking illegally. RHP. Good afternoon, Pete. I'll get out of your
Video
way here. I gotta
filter.
go inside and
Yeah.
take the dog anyway. But listen, Marvin, good to hear you, and drive careful on the rest of your way home. Hello to you, Pete. I'm gonna let you pick it up here. I'm gonna get out of here. Fellas, have a good evening. KF4MCS. That's great.
Oh, I can do mustache and beard too.
Yes, I had a question for Marvin.
There we go. Let's see.
Pete, I'm just back in the driveway, but go ahead.
Zoom up my. Oh, they got a pretty good attendance there.
I don't bring a gun with me.
I see Richard.
Look at all those fellas.
Yep. Hey, Richard.
Hey.
When I'm in my car,
All right, let me kill this other radio. Mute my mic. I'm gonna mute until.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not hearing any audio from the meeting itself.
Yeah, we cannot hear any of your audio, nothing. We can hear each other out here, but we can't hear y'all in there.
Yeah, we hear your mouth moving or see your mouth flapping, but we don't hear.
Yeah, see if we can get the audio working there, Jan.
To get it in someone.
I don't think this mic will pick up anything distant.
Well, it did act like that. Mic was working, I guess it's not even working.
All right.
Now. Let's see. Bill, you look handsome. Look better with glasses.
All right.
What's up, fellas?
We have, summer field day coming up. And we also have a photo coming up. The photo's gonna be down at,
Mike Ross.
Gold Head.
Yeah,
and
Gold Head,
Keystone
there you go.
Heights, May 17th.
I think there's water in there now, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, Gold Head State Park down.
Keystone Heights, what is it off
Yeah.
of 21? Way down,
Yeah.
315, 21.
It's my state park down in the pine trees.
6 or 7 miles north of Highway 100.
So I think it's about an hour or so from here, give or take.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be nice and wide open. The lady in charge of it said that they have a lot of pavilions and different outbuildings and whatnot, and it didn't seem as though the reservation was as critical, but we are checking into that. But May 17th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. as usual. And then when is field day is what, June 27th and 28th, the last full weekend of June. Do you have any suggestions other than setting up here with the others?
Do we have any, if we don't have any plans, we could meet back at the, place we did at the big pavilion with the barbecue pit.
Well, that's where Nassau County is hosting there. They have that
They have it
pavilion
reserved.
reserved. They would love for us to come out. Dwayne, them have extended
Yeah.
make a party of the invitation. I'm all for it. And, you know, it was perfect for our event under it because there was about 4 different avenues for operators, but
Creeks?
no,
No,
Cary
no.
State Forest Campground, Pavilion Road off of 301 in Briceville.
They have a restroom there, convenient to the pavilion, a nice pavilion, had
Yes.
several picnic tables, have power.
And out, and there's other, what I was gonna bring up was I saw another nice area about 300 yards away. And so we would have room for a lot of us.
They talked about, Curtis would be interested in it, doing some fox hunting. I think Mike. I got so many mics up there, which was, but,
Including the radio.
Mike
Levine, I think, someone.
Bunch of mics on the mic.
yeah,
Yeah, Mike 30.
Yeah.
I can't
they said we could always set something up.
McDonald.
No,
McDonald.
not that
No,
mic,
McGonagall's,
no, another mic.
DGA,
But, they have several antennas and a setup for the HDs for the hounds. And, if anybody's interested in doing that, that would be a perfect place to do some fox hunting.
That would be perfect.
and not HEL, finally, sorry.
And we could let the kids, any family members come out and a place for just have a good time, good fun, family fun time.
Lots of trails and stuff around there too. My family liked hanging
Yeah.
out there.
So
Those are bike trails, I think, aren't they?
That walking backward.
think the signs say no bikes on the trails.
Yeah, it was odd, but
Cause I seen a lot of bikes, I didn't know.
I did
That's
too,
right.
and then later Dan brought that to my attention and said nobody.
And no, on the trail right there from the pavilion, it says no bikes allowed on the trails. But there's plenty of dirt roads, so you've got places to ride your bike.
And when we left out of there, we went east and cut back all the way through the park and came out Trout River and Dinsmore. It was beautiful. Yeah, that's a big place out there.
Lots of places to hide a body.
And a fox.
Well, that's a fox. Jan's a pretty good chef on the grill too. So, y'all, would y'all say 26?
I believe it's whatever the last weekend is. I think it's the 27th and the 28th without. looking at the
27th is
calendar.
a Friday, 28th.
So 28th and 29th.
Okay.
So yeah, we could join up with Nassau County. They're, I don't know if they're gonna get serious with field day. We talked about it at the last meeting, or if they're just gonna have like a fun day. Some of the guys that were, said that they wanted to go if it was gonna be a serious field day event, and some of them said that they wouldn't show up if it was not gonna be a serious field day event. So,
What qualifies?
Yeah, what is good? and
If
what's bad.
Jane's there, it's serious.
Yeah.
Give us a data point or something.
I mean, it's gonna be our
You can-
first
you can have
time.
people who want to be serious field day, want to make contacts, there's a nice, like I said, there's several tables, there's power, you can set up. There's places you can run antennas out, so people that want to be serious.
There was a lot of.
Now, that was one thing unique about that pavilion is there's 30 amps, there's
Oh, yeah.
lights, and with the reservation comes permission and for occupancy up till 8 PM. So,
It even had a well, if you wanted to run your ground wire to that well point. You see, it was
I didn't
well
see it.
sitting out there.
yeah, I think that it's gonna be a good time. I just soon go out there and support. This is Nassau's second ever field day event for their club, so I'd much rather go out there and support them than come back here and fight for a spot by the dugout.
The guy that's driving is Al Thomas, W9AJT. Talk to him about it.
So yeah, if we don't have any plans, I'd suggest teaming up with them, going out there, having a good time.
I'm good with that.
We're gonna have fun this year.
It's Cary State Forest Campground, and make sure that you write campground because there's two entrances and this entrance is significantly south of the other. And it's Pavilion Road off of 301. It's just north of the post office in Bryceville. But if you head to the wrong Cary State Forest Campground, it'll
Yeah, I
take
think
you
it's
way
something
north
like
of there,
9 to 3.
so
Yeah, I thought it was.
9 to 3,
10 to 3.
10 to 3.
At least 10 till at least 3.
Yeah.
But you know how that goes. And then I don't know if Al has rented it for both days. I imagine he has Saturday and Sunday.
He's looking for people that wants to spend the night.
So did he get a campground?
No, I'd probably.
Because the pavilion is day use. You gotta leave at 8.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. You can't camp under
The
there.
campsites will be left up to the individual.
Yeah, and the availability thereof, I don't know.
Yeah, he
That's why I
might not
was
know about
asking.
that 8 o'clock.
So from 9 to 8. To the left, 8.
Well, the reservation's 8 to 8, but the event, well, I can't say when the event starts because it's field day, so guys will be there early, probably setting up.
I'll bring these chairs.
There's one right there, that's a little taller.
Hey, Ben, there's a bigger one from the next room over there if you want.
We got some books we'll stack up for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a tall,
Thanks.
there you go, Ben. So yeah, everybody agrees on that, we'll just go out there, Cary State Forest.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he has worked out, because if there is a campground reserved, I mean, I personally would love to go out there and try some parts after
Yeah,
dark.
we'll grab him after a while. I think he's got to be big. That's what I understand.
Well, can't you go on the website and see what's reserved for a certain day?
You might be able to, but again, he would have had to reserve a campsite as
Yeah.
well, or else they have to leave at 8.
Yep.
You know, so that's the whole thing, but if they have,
In general, is it a Florida state park?
it is.
It is.
They generally also have a limit on how many people can stay per campground.
Sure, oh,
So
yeah,
how many, can you bring an RV? Can you bring, they're not gonna want an RV and 25 tents and one
yeah,
campsite.
sure.
2 tents, 1 RV, 1
But let
tent.
me tell you that in my experience, we haven't had an issue with too many people wanting to be a part of that. So, but I see what you mean, and technically, when we reserve that pavilion, we're allowed up to 50 people and 2 cars. So
Oh, it's that one.
take it for what it is, yeah, it's that
Okay. Do what now?
cars.
Well, that's in the specialized area, right? But
Well, no, when you when you
Where you
reserve
park.
that pavilion, it comes with 2 parking places and permission to entertain up to 50 people.
Yeah,
As much sense as that does not make.
well, I didn't know that if you're including the parking lot where the bathrooms were and the handicap, those were 2. And then on the.
Well, see, technically, yeah, back there by the bathroom, there are 2 parking
That's
places,
what,
and I think that's probably. Cause I can't guarantee you that you can have the rest, you know.
you can go back over toward the road.
Well, we did, we accommodated, we just parked, it will be fine, it's nothing to worry about.
I think there's room for 8 cars in that little corral there right in front of the pavilion before they start.
And then you go deeper back to where the, facilities are, the maintenance facilities, man, it's wide open back there, we could park 20 more cars, it wouldn't be in anybody's way. Yeah, we lined up in the ditch and we could have put 15 right there and we'd have been fine, so.
yeah, there's plenty parking alongside.
And we didn't get any attention.
Or any issues, I think that's a great spot, I think that'd be a good time,
That's a good choice, Miss Haywood.
thanks, baby.
They're gonna understand.
Where's my apple?
It's right there.
It doesn't look fresh.
It's from China. You gotta pay it there.
And then we talked about the photo event, what else do we have going on?
Away from the gerbil.
We went over to Goldhead.
What about a workshop? I'm dying to set up a workshop. If anybody in here has any input whatsoever, or has any suggestions or anything that you're dying to build yourself, I am all ears. I would love to put together a workshop. Get a list of people who are mostly interested and know how many of each to buy so that we can get together and solder and build some stuff. Even if it's a plethora of things, if somebody wants to build a dummy load and somebody wants to build a dipole and somebody wants to build a copper J pole, whatever, we can put everything together and have some fun with it. But I'm dying to do a home brew.
Copper J pole might make a little bit too much smoke. Or it's soldering together.
Brazing, no biggie. But yeah,
This one.
We could do something like that at one of
Outside.
the city park.
And
That would be great. The Orange Park Club used to have the
Oh, you can
QRP
hear us
Club.
now.
Yeah,
But yeah, what do you guys think? I forgot you guys could hear us.
Yeah, we can hear you.
yeah.
Well, you know me, I'm,
Where you got picnic tables, that'd be a good outdoor activity or.
Well,
pavilions or-
Gary would be perfect. There's 30 amps. We can run our soldering irons. There's bulbs, everything. If anybody would like to try to,
Pull this conversation back out. The Orange Park Club did.
was that you, John, talking about the OP
Yeah,
club?
that was me, Bill KX4VE.
Yes, sir.
Orange Park Club used to have QRP Club, and we used to meet on one Saturday a month, and we would all have projects, and help each other, and all kinds of stuff like that. But that hadn't been going on, as far as I know, for quite a while now. So it would be nice to have something else like that going again.
Absolutely, man. I'm all for it. I just want people to come up and be like, hey, I've really been wanting to build yada, 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 and I'll be like, all right, 1 vote for yada, 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 whether it's a Yagi, whether it's a dummy load, whether it's an amplifier, whatever it is, I wish that we could just get a bunch of people pumped up that want to go in 1, 2, or even 3 directions, and then we can just nail down a spot and figure out what it'll take to get everybody and everything in one place and build.
I think doing something like something that I want to build, I'm gonna build a simple mobile Yagi for just for fun and for fox hunts and stuff like
I
that.
believe Nassau County on their website, I think they actually had plans for building a little Yagi.
Yeah,
Talk about that at the last meeting.
I've
Yeah,
seen,
they're
I've
doing
seen, one I saw was a tape measure Yagi, made with a tape
Right.
measure.
They're doing a walking fox hunt this weekend, 10 o'clock, I forget where it is, I'll look it up in a minute, but they're doing the walking one, they hadn't scheduled the driving one afterwards. So they only had that one little training there at the, what do you call it, Moose Lodge last month, I think. Or maybe it was this month, winter, but, yeah, they're doing one on the 10th. Tributary Park, that's what it is, where there's like 9 of them in Georgia, so don't pick one of them, just the one in Nassau. So, yeah, Tributary Park, and then I don't think he's announced the driving one, the one you got to go. That's not a bad idea.
I'd like to see, Jan, may be able to help me, but I just bought a couple of H3 radios. And didn't spend much time with them, but I tried to program it. And I got it programmed, but it won't transmit. I don't know what I did wrong.
Country code? Out of band?
Something simple, I'm sure. I just put them back in the box. Wasn't that interested in getting them programmed, I guess. Not too many other projects.
You using chirp?
Yeah.
It should be pretty easy.
Oh.
Not bad.
It's something simple. It wasn't simple, so.
It's
One
real
went back in the
simple.
box.
It's real simple to miss something and mess it up
I
too.
mean, it
My
programmed,
first H3 was DOA.
it programmed,
But it wouldn't transmit. So
Yeah.
they sent me a note.
it programmed, and, I didn't try the second one, but it programmed. Like,
Yeah,
oh, let's do it.
I
Ricky,
got it.
I'm not gonna go transmit.
Had my
it.
bad
It
actor.
won't
Yeah.
transmit.
Do a crucifix.
Yeah.
We were talking about building the Aggies for the fox hunt. I built this for the guy who wouldn't shut up on the repeater. And it worked. If anybody wants to check it out, it's just a dipole.
Just can't use it in the rain, right?
I'm faster than the rain, Tom. I don't get wet, the rain gets jammed.
I'm talking about the arsenic working with this. The stuff they use.
It's not creosote, man, that's yellow wood.
New stuff they say is okay.
It's safe.
CCA, copper carbon.
Yeah.
They thought arsenic was safe all those years.
Asbestos is fine until you touch it and play with it.
Chromium arsenate.
I know, those sites are still on the government megaphone. Just don't lick the doorknobs, you'll be fine. That's right.
It's the windows that get your
In Mayport,
attention.
we couldn't lick.
When you lick windows, they pay attention.
Well, that's just good advice all the way around right there, though.
Well, yeah, that's, I built that while the dude was on the repeater using racial slurs in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Is this what
And
you
it worked.
chased
I
him down
narrowed
with?
him down, huh?
That's what you chased him down with that day?
That's what I found him with, yeah. I found
Beat
his
him?
neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's undisclosed information. We're on record,
It's
Tom.
probably, was it in Montrose area? Cause
Nope.
you leave them out there.
Well, you know, the good news is, once he's tracked down, we can hand him over to the authorities.
Yeah, believe it or not, he owns his house. Not going anywhere.
We're not winking.
I'd take a picture myself. That always works.
But so we're not doing the fox hunt, that right there would be perfect. If we wanted to build those, you know, you go wave those around the forest and it's gonna tell you where your little transmitter is.
Yeah.
And the guy was acting up on UHF, or I mean on VHF, but I built that UHF, obviously 70 centimeter just for convenience and size, so I could ride around with it and not have some big crazy thing. And I figured the limited gain would help me pinpoint even more versus getting a 50-degree pizza pie. I'm just getting a blip dead on, you know?
Yeah.
If you really
Yeah, I
want-
think that's a great project for the whole club, and that's good for the whole club and the whole area. That way, when we do have bad actors, we can say, hey,
We're all
who's
trained.
got, yeah, everybody knows
trained.
how to do it. Who's got time, who's got their Yagi, go out there and find the
And
guy.
I can just
and then we
stay
can-
in my
we can
car,
turn
it's
that
never
address
in my
in.
way where I have to pull it out, and then when the guy shows up, I don't have it. No, it's always in my truck, it's convenient.
Yeah.
I think I've got 8 bucks in it.
Yeah, I was saying, Jan, I'd like to have, a programming somebody fluent in programming different radios would chirp. That way, like, I just bought the H3 radio. And I programmed one and it, I think it wouldn't transmit.
Did you save the original,
File, the empty file.
Probably did, yeah.
Yeah, cause
But
that's
no,
the
I have
best
the
thing to
second
do.
one, so.
Yeah, okay, you got the
Cause
second
I'll
one.
tell you, here's how finicky and quirky it is. You can take that H3, you buy it, you turn it on, you hook it up, and you download from radio onto the computer or upload from radio. And then you turn that radio, then you jailbreak it from GMRS to ham or open or whatever. It no longer recognizes that radio. As far as your computer is concerned, you just got a new radio, a different one. So that file will no longer be manipulated and able to go back onto your radio once you've set it to GMRS to open to.
Yeah.
And then 220 is even crazier.
Saving that original file will save your butt. because,
So
you know,
saving that little bit of money, buying that cheap radio is worth all that headache?
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. It's $31.
Take this pill, it ain't gonna hurt, just take it.
My problem is keeping them. I mean, this is the third set that I bought for my camper. And they just keep disappearing.
People set them down and walk off. Just find out who's talking about a new radio.
I've had 2 sets of both things. I got 2 brand new boxes, 2 pairs sitting up there, no radio. I got the base, the chargers, and
Now,
they're
ironic,
gone.
I've got mine, I got some that keep showing up. They're not the valve things, but I've got more HTs than I ever started with.
I've had one set that went out to California or all the way out to Idaho. in
But
fact.
it is a real Motorola. He
Yeah.
took-
I can't
he
find
took
them.
Motorola and put down here on.
They're just, I don't know. And I thought I've lost these H3s the other day. I
And put down.
programmed the one brand new, I haven't listened to them. I went, where are they? I found them yesterday.
Oh, you did? So
You gotta kidding me. Those went missing. I'm like, where are they? They're on a shelf in a box. I'm like,
As long as that money had been, I wouldn't.
They didn't
Place you
disappear yet.
ever
I'm like, I thought they went missing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, something like that we can, when we have these events, if somebody needs some help like that, then hey, whoever that person is, that's got a computer, laptop or whatever, they could show up. Yeah.
Well, I would like to do that. Richard over here, for anybody that doesn't know, that's Richard over there. Thank you for your service. And he's got a Yaesu FT5D and he's having some
It's a
tones.
socialist democrat. It don't work when it don't want to.
Too funny, Richard.
So even part-time qualifies as a socialist. All right.
So did you radio before COVID or after COVID? Yeah, right. So you bought it after COVID, so it doesn't want to work. No, when I put it on my quarter wave antenna, brand new antenna, I went down to Orlando and bought it. I get weather broadcast intermittent. It's like NOAA is continuous broadcast on the signal, but it's intermittent. I have not played with the squelch to adjust that out. I switch back to this antenna and I do the monitor and I can hear it, but I haven't reached the 7.6 yet. And I live in the Inglewood area.
Yeah, he's over there close to me, so, and Ron Snelling, there's no reason he shouldn't be getting into it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's the radio, it's a Yaesu. But I don't know if it's this or what is the footprint on the 7.6?
Well, right now it's a little compromised because we went up there in December. When was our?
After that, you
Well, anyways, we had to kind of compromise to get everything together because we had some coax issues. So the antenna is not in its permanent place. It's low. It's actually right next to the antenna that links to the prime side downtown. So what are we at? Maybe 250 feet instead of 400 and whatever.
It's on the side, it's not on the top.
Yes, and we're on the side, so there are gonna be some shadowing or picket fencing. It is on the Dames Point, but it's much lower. If you look at the Dames Point, there's 2 bow ties, and on the lower one is a catwalk, and we're about even with that height at the moment until we get up there with new coax.
Well, I want to be able to hit that with my quarter wave antenna on the car.
Absolutely. I can hit it. I live close to you. I'm in Lakewood.
Okay,
I'm at University in San Jose and I can hit it on my HT in my driveway.
after
So
the
there's.
meeting, I got a funny story to tell you about that location.
That sounds good.
Not right now, but.
But
Always got a funny story, Richard.
Look at that HT. I asked him to bring it with him so that we could help him out if possible.
What was
I know we
that?
got-
Somebody had a comment?
No, I was saying that Richard's always got a funny story.
Oh.
But if there's any HT gurus here, that'd be wonderful. And that'd be.
Actually, if I could intervene for a second, because I was with Richard when he bought that radio. He's got the programming cable because he picked it up at the Orange Park auction, and he's got the software from RT Systems, but it's registered to another whoever owned the radio originally. And he and I called RT Systems, but they wouldn't give us the serial number because he's not the original owner. But he does have a programming cable for that radio.
But the serial number applies just to the software, not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Look, you know, the serial number is about $100.
Yeah, they particular on that stuff.
Yeah, ran into that issue with that radio.
Oh,
Richard, somebody else first.
I guess that's the best way to get more money out of a previous customer.
There is a way they'll transfer it, but you got to get all parties involved and it's just a big hassle. If you can't find the original owner, it's almost impossible to get it transferred.
I'm gonna try that. That was actually donated to the Nassau Club for the testing last week, and my mom actually won the thing when she got her license last week. But yeah, I was really excited because I went to buy RT Systems once and they were like $99. Like, no, I don't want it that bad. And then it came with this one, the key and everything. Sure enough, I tried to install it and nope, that's not the same email address this was entitled to before. So I did not get to use RT Systems.
Yeah, they're proud of their software, but it's good though. It works really well.
What was that, Jay?
I said RT Systems, their software works really well, but they're quite proud of it. But I've got like 3 or 4 of them. But my one cable works on all 3 different radios, so I only had to buy the cable once and just buy the software.
Does that radio usually work with Chirp at all? Have we researched that?
I believe it will.
I can't hear you.
I was saying, does that radio work with Chirp as an alternative?
I don't know what that is.
That's programming software. It's an open source.
I am a
software.
digital dinosaur.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
Same.
Do you have the programming
Don't feel
cable
lonely.
with you tonight?
I'm
Do
sorry.
you have the programming cable with you?
No, I can bring it next month.
Okay, I was gonna say, I've got my programming key in the truck, we'll probably take a look at it.
Okay.
I don't think I have to Yeezy, that's gonna go.
I just charge you, don't use it.
Yeah.
Ben, you got an update on the D-Star?
Yeah, I sent a message to the one person that's not here.
Yeah, he's sick.
So the original challenge was when you buy a SIM from a regular carrier, T-Mobile, AT&T, even on everybody's cell phone here, you don't get a public IP address. So if I want to ping your cell phone from across the world or reach out to it, it's impossible to do that. It sits behind the cell phone's network only.
Their firewall.
Their network address translation is what it's called.
Yeah.
So you get a private IP address that's owned by the cell phone network, not that's out on the public internet. I found a company finally called SimBase. A little more than I want to pay every month, but I'm willing to do it. That will give you a public IP address. So you plug that into your modem, your router, and it's like you've got home internet service where you get a real IP address out on the internet. So that's going to ideally fix all of our issues. I've tested it at the house, I've run it, and I put obviously I don't have the repeater at my house, but I put the gateway, which was at the house on it, and I could ping the gateway from the public internet. So it's just a matter of getting it all down to to the place, IP addresses, opening some ports, and then it should get back on the air. The actual dashboard on the gateway, I may or may not have available to the public. So there was a link on the website, you click on it, the dashboard would come up, you could see what was connected, who had called last and all that. The problem is if someone sits there and reloads that dashboard, every megabyte is a charge for me now. Every megabyte costs me money. It's not a lot, it's a few cents, but when you're talking possibly 2, 3, 4 gigabytes a month, if we get chatty on it, that becomes quite a phone bill every month. So I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to, see what it's gonna cost me. If it's cost prohibitive, we'll have to find another solution or pass the hat every month or something, but it'll get 88 back on the air. So as soon as this Friday, possibly, it could be, I have a lot going on. It's my daughter's sweet 16 birthday, so that's like planning a wedding nowadays, unfortunately. Just a 16-year-old.
I remember you before you got married.
Yeah, well, I almost got divorced and now we're back together again, so, yeah.
That's
So,
cheaper.
It is cheaper to get back together, I found out, yeah.
So the repeater, what is it connected to? Is it like local or?
It's whatever reflector is on.
Okay. So you can go inside with it.
It's a.
Yeah, it's any reflector you want, that's on the, like.
It's good to see you.
You leave them?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Chasing water.
Yes, sir, all the time.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. And see how it works out, and hopefully if the bill gets more than what you're willing to pay, let the club know, and hopefully we'll pitch in and to keep it on air. I mean.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to get the club to pay it. If it gets out of hand, I would just ask maybe just to supplement it a little bit.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so we tried all kinds of solutions with VPNs and tunnels, and the configuration of that was a mess, and then the latency was gonna be kind of high, and so this seems like the ticket.
The best solution.
What kind of firewall do you have running on it?
Just whatever basic firewalls running on the Netgear cellular router.
I'm just curious, I was thinking security purposes, I mean.
It's not, so when I look at security, I think risk versus, what we're putting into it. Like I have old fireboxes and stuff I can put on it, and intrusion protection system, old stuff. That the only reason they got rid of it was because everybody's doing 10 gigabit, terabit networks and stuff like that now. So we obviously don't need all that, and we could use that, but what's the worst if they get into it?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Change the reflector, delete the Raspberry Pi, and I put another image into it and bring it back. So I don't have anything.
It's not a huge overhead. You
Yeah,
get into it.
yeah.
In other words, yeah.
It's not like it's people's bank accounts or medical records in there.
Well, get in and, use this to hack the Federal Reserve.
It's not really tied into a computer system. It's a cell, mobile cell little box. Yeah, providing internet to the Raspberry Pi.
It's a mobile cell box. It goes into a switch, a little 5-port switch. One port has my DMR repeater on it. The other one has 8.8. The other one has a Raspberry Pi, and then the other one has a outlet where I can remotely power cycle or do out of band control.
Yeah, exactly.
Disabling it if I need to. So
They call that in the world of Cisco iOS or
Things pointers.
not iOS,
That
lights out.
no, that's Baptist South Hospital, public Baptist South Hospital.
Who's your carrier, Verizon then?
Right now, it's T-Mobile, I think. With Symbase, it's like an MVNO, is that the right acronym?
Yeah, it's a phantom carrier.
Yeah, there's an acronym for it, but
They're using
essentially,
everybody else.
yeah, essentially you put it on and it
So
let
they're
me
just a
choose when I
broker.
created the account, yeah.
Right, basically.
Mobile
They're a broker,
works
but
with the
they issue
operator.
a public IP address. Well, not sure how all that works, but
Don't use it for 911, you'll wait.
But they obviously understand what you need, to provide something unique there.
yeah, so this is what companies use that have like remote equipment, remote control systems out in the middle of nowhere, and they need to access that. So Internet of Things type
Yeah, to
stuff.
monitor it,
So,
yeah.
so we'll be pretty limited on bandwidth. It's not like a 5G or I think even a 4G type speed. It's pretty slow, but it's gonna be plenty to do what we're doing as far as voice goes. That's another reason why I probably wouldn't have the dashboard up there, because that dashboard, if someone were to load it and all that, it could take up all the bandwidth at that point, so. It's only like a couple hundred K up and a couple hundred K down, and that's it. But it's still way more than what we would need.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
As much for
plenty.
this.
No. No, even if you had D-Star and DMR, let's say you had D-Star and then both plots on DMR keep simultaneously, you're still talking about under 100K of bandwidth, so.
As far as the Nemours Prime side, I know that we've been talking about doing those, getting those two Motorola's together, and Justin's not feeling well, but, is that something you're looking to do here fairly soon?
Yeah.
And the only reason I ask, not the press or anything, but when that does happen, I'll be happy to go install them, so that's the reason I asked, but. I noticed, and it was Mark, I should have, but we got that little bit of tinniness or scratchiness or something into the audio quality of the 760 right now. I'm sure everybody's noticed it. And I was curious, I wanted to ask you too, but do you think it could be like our duplexer cable or something starting to deteriorate down there, or what do you think could be contributing? The Kenwood itself, you think it's deteriorating? Because I know before it was jam up, but it's
Things old.
yeah.
But the cable shouldn't be an issue.
No.
Well, I'm imagining what could be variables, you know, but the audio, since we went, so we let it sit for a little while because we're having issues, and then we went up and did the bridge work.
Things come off the bridge.
So it's been
Because the
tossing.
Tomsborns quit working.
Yeah.
I've been a receiver for. How
10
long have I
years.
been on the bridge, Ben? 10, 12 years?
Which receiver?
The P71.
At least a decade.
The Tomborg quit working on it, so we pulled it and put another one up there.
Or we put it up there.
So yeah, that's been.
We swapped it out in
continuous
what, August of last year?
working. Yeah, it's been continuous working.
Those things, man, are awesome.
It's just old. It wouldn't surprise me. Something's wrong with it.
It just is starting to sound slightly overdriven, maybe, or tinny. I don't know. I'm being picky now.
I'm
It's
just
working
guessing.
great, but
I'm just guessing.
I'm saying,
We already know the Tomboard's bad in it, so.
and the CSX machine, the UHF seems to be working great. I've got people getting into it in the HC and Orange Park and Cali.
The
So,
controller is just, we know the controller's not switching for C4 FM anymore. On that,
on that,
we have
is it-
two
Which
more.
is a
that's-
classic issue with those repeaters.
We have two more, if we ever. Yeah, one or two, we could take the controller out of one or the other two and put in that one, but it's the worst.
Or just swap the whole machine, right?
Well, the other one.
Well, the other ones are all down.
Oh,
Transmits, one's fried, the other one.
Yeah, one of them looks like the final was
Yeah,
Friday.
the finals frying those, you have to modify the
It burnt the
fans and the
board.
heat sink and add some stuff to.
That's what I did to the one on the
Yeah.
CSX, and it's working great.
So you added extra fans?
Oh, yeah, I drilled holes in the case and added an extra fan.
Good.
Yeah, we got, but one of them, the board's fried, and it took out several components around the finals. It was smoke. The other one may be repairable, not sure. But it's. I may make the club an offer on a 440 Motorola. If they. We'll see, because I'm probably gonna sell the ones I have. Because I'm not using them, I don't need them. And I would,
Put
give
one in
you-
your car, Jan.
What's that?
Put 440 in your car.
Yeah,
Here.
oh yeah, that's what I need, a little more vision loss.
Quantum.
Quantro.
Quantro TRs or whatever. Quantro.
Quanto.
I got the,
Quantro.
Quanto.
That's 300 watts.
Yeah.
I got 100-watt. VHF and UHF version for the. what is it, MSR 200s,
SR 2000.
2000s, yeah. The nice repeaters, they're old, but
They don't make
they're
them like
still
they
well in
used
use
to.
everywhere.
How many of them are still out there in use today, that
Yeah.
same age?
Yeah.
And those are clean and in good shape too.
I got those I'm gonna be probably selling shortly. I don't need them. I got them to play with. So I can say I've had them in my hand and I've played with them. I don't need 'em.
Similar question that you asked me earlier, what's the status of 315?
It's up and working.
Okay,
Um,
so I hear it, I was in Callahan on a handheld. ID almost full scale up there inside someone's house in Callahan, so. Like,
it's up and working.
I never hear
did-
anyone on it, I put my call out all the time and never hear a soul on it.
I think it would improve if we did away with the duplexers, split antennas. We didn't do that.
That's what I was saying a year ago to do.
How far apart?
Well, vertically, they're separated by what, at least 50, 60 feet, but then also there's a big piece of concrete between them too at that angle,
Yeah.
so you're
We
gonna
want-
have plenty of separation.
We want to raise the antenna if we separate them. Leave the receive antenna up top. We did get the new antenna installed.
Oh.
But
So the original antenna, you cut it up and threw it away?
it's gone.
Yeah, okay.
But we got new antenna receive on top of the tower. What I like to do, we didn't put the second antenna, it's up there. We got a, no, just a regular.
Diamond.
The
Five
510,
or something.
That lasts about 3 weeks up there.
For the transmit,
A 510?
something like that.
That's
Not a 510. Or maybe it, I forget,
X50?
something, yeah.
Is
It's
it a
a-
one, is it a one piece or is it one of those
It's
long
one
three?
piece.
Oh, it's
It's a
like what
lightning
we-
catcher.
X50, yeah.
Yeah, it's the shorter, it's
Yeah.
not the big,
It's a single piece though.
yeah,
Okay,
So it's
I'll give
more
it 4
stout.
weeks instead of 3.
yeah, it's what we've been using
He
on the
knows what I
bridge.
mean.
They seem to hold up pretty good.
Okay.
better than the big ones.
Yeah. But I didn't want to put it up there because when I was up there looking, if we installed it right there, it's right next to the bow tie. And if we installed it on that part of the bridge,
You know, take
the
it
west
further.
side, north and west of Jacksonville is blocked by all that concrete. So we need to raise that up. So we have coax up there. Should get coax up there, I think. So we could run off the repeater up to the antenna just for the transmit. And we can raise that antenna up and still have separation in between the transfer to receive. But we need to get it up so it still has better coverage, so it's not blocked by that bow tie. We just run out of time and we need to get back down,
I know that feeling.
because we did
Been a whole day.
IZ antenna that day, we did our antenna that
That was
day.
that was a whole day.
And we did changed out our receivers that day. for the
Changed out the
76.
cans for Pete.
Changed out the cans. We
Yeah,
we had a full day,
Did some stuff.
and I made the call that we didn't have time to put that antenna up. And I said, no, we need to get back down and get your ride and all.
That was at 6 p.m. So
Yeah. We got a lot done.
speaking of that and coax, now we moved the 760 receive down. And because we need coax, what length coax are we gonna need for that?
I'm gonna say 250 foot to be safe. We can always shorten it. I'd start with 250, because we're at 220 to the room where we're at, when they come up and around before we start going upward. So that's probably gonna be 10 foot down in the room, 10 foot out and around. You're talking 30, 40 foot there, and then up
220.
200 foot, 220 foot, yeah, 250.
What kind of coax do you need, like 7/8 heliax or
No, just
213.
all it is just receive.
like LMR 400 then?
LMR 240.
400 works, but I don't like using anything foil with foil, but it's just received. So, cause we're not trying to duplex to it. Per se. So that's
Still
only gotta be
affordable.
received antenna. LMR 400 probably worked great. Was that 9913 or? Anything like that would work. Anything low loss, cause like I said, it's just for the receive antenna for 7.6. The transmit is the directional beam. So it's not duplexing, so.
I might be willing to go like halvesies on a 500-foot spool if we, because I think at that length you can get a discount, usually a little lower.
There was a roll of 214 marine grade for $3,400.
Is that the
eBay.
orange stuff?
Why?
eBay stuff scares me. You
No,
don't know,
this is from
it's been sitting out for decades somewhere, soaked up
this is from a
water.
marine supply down
Miami.
off the east coast of Florida, down below. Anyway, down below the Cape Canaveral. I almost bought it, but I don't need it. And I was just gonna sell half of it to the club. I gotta stop spending money.
If y'all find something like that, I would be willing to do, you know, a 500-foot spool and cut it in half.
Yeah, I would go
I know
in.
you can get it.
I would
It's only
buy 100
$400.
foot. If we could find 5 of us to go in serious on a
Yeah.
1,000-foot roll or something.
This was a 500 foot.
I mean, I'll buy 100 foot. Ben said he wants a little, if we need 250
And
for
that
the
stuff,
club.
that 214 is expensive stuff, and this is
Yeah,
like
it's
$400.
95% braid,
Yeah, and this was flat.
braid, and then the center conductor is solid number 12.
No, this was the flex, it wasn't solid, so
Oh,
it makes it more expensive.
Yeah.
so
Which we need the flex,
it's
obviously.
still
right?
12 gauge in the
Okay,
middle.
so
That's
And
what it
then
is.
move, or-
But it's just braided, that's all.
You're gonna put PL
But,
259.
but the 214 is silver coated,
Right,
where the 213 is not.
right. It's copper.
So up there, that antenna that I identified like almost 2 years ago, that's the antenna you're connecting it to? It's
That
a-
coax is no longer
That
needed.
dipole,
Yeah,
yeah. Do we know the antenna, if the antenna itself is good?
the antenna is wrong frequency.
Okay,
That was the one labeled space shuttle.
yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know what they were using to uplink it.
We did utilize the coax, that's what we was using,
Okay,
but the coax has gone bad.
pretty much both are bad, but both are no good.
Yeah, and so we had to abandon that. Antenna is still there. Actually, antenna is working for 220. It's actually got a dip right on 220.
You may have been linking it up on 220 then.
There
Back in the
is
day.
a harmonic.
It's yeah, it's receiving 220,
Hey, chalk one up for the good
Yeah.
guys.
but it's everything else is 10-1.
Yeah. Well, let's put a 220 repeater on it.
There's one on there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah,
Oh,
my 220's up.
oh, you put it on there?
Oh, I thought
I
that
can
was
show you how to
That's not
program
your
that
house now.
H3.
So you got a 220 at what, 400 feet down there? Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on our
I'll
website.
I'll have to try that out. Okay.
Yeah, I just
The
finally.
transmitter-
I thought that was still at your place.
Yeah, I
The
thought that was
transmitter
still
is-
up on.
Oh, the
oh,
transmitter is-
The
okay.
receiver's on the bridge, the transmitter's at my house, linking back 440 to my house, and then transmitter's at my house. But yeah, it's actually working excellent on a bad piece of hard line. I have, who was it, about a month ago, Eric was on there and he asked me, what have you done different, man? That thing's working really good. I'm like, didn't do nothing.
My
Bad
whole
piece of
house
hard
is
line.
fired. I got to go.
Bad piece of coax.
Good, do that. All right, you guys, y'all drive fast and tailgate.
They said it's working great.
Where are you going, man?
I think I just keep.
Where are you going?
I thought- yeah.
Oh, man, this peer pressure. Peer pressure.
My pass at
See
the
ya.
hospital is up at 9 o'clock, so I can get back.
Man, yeah, it's hard to fake a phone call in front of everybody, isn't it?
I can make it. ring.
I hear the ring.
On the radio.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Oh,
I got my buddy working on that shark.
Exclusively.
Okay.
So that's what I.
You need a 40-meter ham stick? I see you got room on the car.
The shark antenna, he's making me something, a 3D,
Yeah, a little bit.
2-inch high,
Like not too bad.
so I can put all the coaxes from inside the vehicle.
Like a chase pipe?
Yeah, it'll come
Kind
out
of
and
What you
have
want?
ports underneath it.
Cool. I dig it. Should clean it up, make it easier for you. All right, man.
It's that quad shield coax that goes through the hatch I have problems with, pinches every time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Darn the luck.
I got a unibit.
Got one of those too. Up to 2.5-inch hole.
I won't be big enough.
I got 40-meter ham sticks bigger in his car.
So do you think of anything else?
No, we
Any business?
still, would like to have, scheduling out the POTA events further out in advance. I'd like to see club do that.
I am all for that.
No more
Start
warning
giving
on
people
I
those.
more
guess the
advance notice for scheduling campground.
Yes, well, and that's just it, man. I am begging for input. If anybody's like, listen, you know, if we could eventually go to this place, I wanna go here because, and I'll be like, you know what? You just gave me direction. Now we're going to there, you know?
I say, you just gotta pick a place to do it. So that's where
Yeah, I
I'm
just
at.
feel really, really selfish just picking a spot and telling everybody that's where it's gonna be. I've been
You're not-
dying for.
Kind of what we need though, I think.
You're not getting into it.
What we need, because if you chart you blaze the trail there,
You're not,
and then people will participate, and then they'll bring in other locations too. And
not getting into
other
it. You just
events and
gotta,
all kinds of things.
I like to see at least schedule out 2 months. So that way people will have a chance to
Sure.
reserve a campground.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. And one thing too, if anybody has it. Including tonight, there seems to be a damn Aries meeting every time we have something, anything, there's an Aries meeting.
There's gonna be, somebody's gonna have something just about.
But it seems to be Aries, like the last 3 of our monthly meetings here. Our POTA event was Aries thing, people could make it, you know. Does anybody have an Aries schedule? I
We've been
swear
having
to
these
God.
monthly meetings at this time on this day of the month for at least 2 decades that I know of. Over
Aries?
No, range.
I know, that's my
Range been
point.
having these.
But it
meetings
seems every
this
time we try to do anything, there's some Aries function, they're gonna
Let
build.
them do what they want.
They're gonna crimp 259 connectors, or they're gonna, you know, there's a thing. Ready, set, something that I never knew about, I mean, you know.
All these other clubs are starting to be more active.
How can
They've
we
seen us.
establish communication with them? That's what we do.
I've tried. I go to their,
Is there calendar online?
no, because I go to their groups and their event pages and everything, and I'm
I
like, I
sent
don't do
you-
anything. And then,
Yeah.
boom, guess what? There's a damn coax connector meeting
I
that
wouldn't
nobody knew
worry
about.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Then you get on their event coordinator and you're like, hey, I never saw anything about it. Well, I don't have to put up with this. I'm quitting the group. All right, you're the event coordinator, quit your own group. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you know, we can just do what we do and let them.
Yeah.
well, I know, but I
Like
mean,
said, we've been doing
but
it
my
for
point
2
is that I don't wanna
Diverting
compete.
attention,
I don't wanna compete with them. I wanna pick a time when we're not like making people choose them or us.
I
Nobody
think
will
nobody's
complain
trying
about
to do.
what you're doing until you start doing something.
You're exactly right.
That's
Those
what's
are golden
You just
words.
got to go. You got to
Yeah.
go for it
Yeah.
and go.
Gotta just
We
do it.
built a portable communication station and we started having POTA events monthly. And other clubs have seen that, and they started trying to replicate what we're doing.
Trying to.
I'll tell you what, if you do
Uh,
enough and people
where
go
is
to
it?
it, other groups will reach out. to us.
Yeah.
So all we gotta do is
They'll
we just gotta.
I had to put it back together. All the screws are rattled out of it loose.
We
Man, I
just gotta
ordered
start,
those screws per specification.
Which one?
All
We
the
just
rock
gotta-
wall screws on it.
Gotta keep doing what we've been doing
Yep.
and keep doing it better. And, just keep building on it. That's all we gotta do. And it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, but you know, and the reason I said that was because I feel like if I do plan out our events 3 months in advance, and they're gonna plan out all their events on the same damn day.
Well, that's not in your.
That's okay.
Let
them choose. We also need.
But again, I guess my point is up until now, I've been trying to like stick and move, bob and weave, like, oh, they have this thing going on this weekend and this thing going on in 2 weeks. Let's slide in between.
And then
Sure
what
enough, they
happens in the
event.
meantime, you get a short notice, short turnout, short participation.
You're right.
Go ahead and
You're right.
chart your course and set sail.
Yeah, you're
Plan that
absolutely
with
right.
at least 2 months out in advance. And like I said, always have food, hot dogs. The club can afford hot dogs, not they make hot dogs, something.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that for years now. And everybody likes hot dogs, even at the free fleet. I bring them a grill and I serve hot dogs for free. I mean, everybody likes it. It's been a hit. And that draws people in. And nothing
Yeah.
else, the photo events at the parks, we don't only have to do it once a month, we could every other weekend. That we're not at a photo event,
Especially if we
just go
do,
to a state park or a city park. Have the family event, say, we're having hot dogs, we're over here, come join us. You
Right.
don't have to bring a radio, it's not a photo event, it's just a city park, let's get together, bring the kids. Free hot dogs for
I
anybody,
try to do some that are closer in, you know.
yeah.
I don't know what's available to us as far as parks that are closer in where we can do it more frequent and what's closer in, but that will also allow us to, you know.
Just get our
have what we
name,
want,
get our
enough
name out
people.
there. And
And
get
we
the
also,
public involved.
another thing is getting some of those events onto the public page.
Yes.
Publicized on the public page, not on the private side.
Yes.
Where people don't see it, then we can, once we have that on the public page, we can publicize that, everybody can
Yeah.
share that, and we can get the word out and start bringing in, you know, cause start bringing in new people, fresh blood, new people to the club, new people who, new hands that are coming in, and bring them in with us and, make our events bigger and more fun for all of us.
Gotta make it fun. Like I
and-
said, I'd like to see us go out into,
Instead of trying to compete with them, we just, do
Don't
our
worry about
own
competing.
thing.
just let's have fun, get out here, have fun.
Isn't that what
Um,
Nassau County did? Don't they have food events once a year that has a lot?
They
That's
do
their
the barbecue.
fundraiser.
They
And we
do
need
the
to
barbecue,
do-
which is coming up here on the 20th, I think. I'm actually cooking for them.
Yeah, and I wanna.
But
talk
that's
to you
their,
about.
that's their one fundraiser a year, and apparently they make enough of this one. They do a 2-day cookout in the Lowe's parking lot up
They
there.
didn't get our permission to do it, did they?
Up there?
So they didn't get our permission, they just set sail and
Yeah,
Oh,
they've been-
yeah,
they've
well,
been
that's
doing that
something
a
they've
long
been
time,
doing,
too.
but that's their only one event. You know what I mean? Up
So-
until this year
start with
recently.
And we've talked about it before, what else do we need to do for us to get our fundraisers going? So that
Never had a
we're,
fundraiser.
well, I know that,
I've been
but
pushing that for,
what do we
10
need to
years.
do to make? Cause we wanna do it all on the up and up where everything's legit, not just go out there and start selling stuff and taking money and not be, following the rules.
Build some stuff, let's build some antennas at a workshop, and those of us that are,
C3, so we.
those of us that are hosting the workshop should turn out 10 items and put our
Well,
company name or club name on them and sell them on Etsy, eBay, QRZ, whatever.
But didn't you say there were
Well, I
some
did
things we
that.
need to do as far as like
It's not
maybe a
just-
permit or something that we had to get or to make sure we're doing
Can't
that
do
stuff
what? You
right?
can't
What
make
what
products
do we
yourself?
need for that?
Yeah, but get with, as far as the barbecue, I'm sure you got the,
C3, you can't make a profit on them. No, the
You'd
club
have to
can
make
make
an
income.
have
The
permits
club
for
could
doing
make
it.
income off of
Serving
making
food.
it done,
Huh?
right?
Have to what?
You're serving food.
Yeah,
You don't need a permit if you're giving food away and people donate. If you're charging for food, You need a permit and you need a service.
Okay, so we just do, let's
That's what I mean.
let's just
Find
set it
out.
up and do
And
a
it
big
does
old
well that
cookout
way.
ourselves, you know, do a cookout, do some car washes. I mean, I don't care what, really what it is.
I'm not personally washing
fill our,
cars, but I'll build some stuff and
I
put
think we
them
need to
up for
also
sale.
start reaching out to companies and asking
Let's
for
speak.
grants again. We've been, we
If
got
somebody puts in a fire.
about a decade ago, an ice
Yeah,
grant
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
CSX for about $5,000-6,000, and then just as recent as, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wrote a grant and we got approval for that for
Okay, so you've already done it.
$6,000.
Then I'd like to
So-
talk to you about that, cause,
Okay.
I think there's opportunity for us to get even a much larger, donations for the club. By looking for grants and, there are websites, and places where you can go and court people, you know, cause there's a lot of people, doctors, lawyers out there with lots of money and they
Well,
have to donate each
It's
year.
very challenging
So-
for what we do because it's an interesting area. Everybody, we're not helping veterans, we're not helping, you know, pregnant women, we're not helping children, we're not helping abused women, we're not helping this and that. And so they kind of want to see, well, what is it that you do? And we can express that, we have a way to express that, but it doesn't fit the kind of,
Their criteria.
for the lack of a better word, the sexy niches that they like to give their money to,
Well,
you know, the desirable.
Emergency communications.
That's what we do, emergency services.
Or let's just let's go intertwine with the scouts.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Instead of meeting here only
You have
once a
veterans
month.
in the club, so.
Let's go to
you know,
a
we
scout
can-
meeting once a month
I
and
think it's,
set up field ops and show the scouts what we do.
We can always do something.
I've got Clint Wilder out there in Arlington who runs a STEM after-school program begging us to come just show his after-school students how the radios work.
I mean,
He
we can
has
always
his
get involved.
license, he's a ham, he wants to set up a radio and let them do third-party talk while he's holding the mic with them and.
We can always find us a cause that the club wants to get involved with. You can find battered women. We get a grant or something like that, or start trying to help them what we can now and then ask for grants. Say, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
How would you help a veteran woman?
I'm just making an example.
Other than communication, how would you help?
Tell him to calm down, no, I'm just kidding. Just.
Oh, my goodness.
Just.
Don't forget we're on recording.
Yeah.
I don't think she has a gun, but just in case, don't stand behind them.
Well, I mean, some people have house fires or they need a refrigerator or what have you. People, there's a lot of people that need assistance with different things.
Yeah.
Carpets in a house. I bought refrigerators for people before. We could do as an organization, I don't know how you find these people, but they're out there. People have refrigerators and freezers that quit working and they don't have money to buy them. And what do? Go to churches and stuff and say, what can we do to help somebody? We could ask the pastor here, how can we help? I'm sure there's people in need. I don't believe in just giving money to Red Cross, Blue Shield, stuff like that, because there's so much of that money that doesn't get to help people.
Yes.
It goes to the overhead,
Yeah.
and somebody's salary and.
97% of it's
but there's
absorbed.
people- My opinion, a nonprofit, it means nobody's making profit. This head honcho here is running this organization, he's making $40 million a year. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Not $40 million profit he's making.
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not a nonprofit organization. But they're still a nonprofit. And then he's got 40 people working underneath him. They're making 20 million apiece. And then they got all the helpers underneath
Sounds like
there. And they're making
ARL.
400,000 apiece. I'm like, how are you considering this nonprofit?
Just gotta
Well, because
donate
we
10%.
give away $20,000 a year. Well, how much do you take in? Well, we get in 40 billion, but we managed to give 20,000 of it away a year.
Yeah.
But we make no profit because after we pay everything, we
every
get
time we
$20,000 of our actual profit. We actually give that away and there's no profit left. You mean you took in $20 billion and you give away 20,000 and there's no, that's all you give away was 20,000?
Yeah.
Really? No. I can take me $20,000 and I can go find family in need, their house burned down. I can give them $20,000. I might help them on a down payment on getting a new house to live in. Cause they couldn't afford insurance and the government wouldn't help them. These people out there need help.
Yeah.
There's, if we wanted to get involved, there's things, the club, organization we have that we could actually get out in the community and help.
We do these things like, especially like youth outreach or even veterans and stuff like that, teach them a new skill, teach them radio and electronics. It's a great field. And even just for hobby purposes, but then when we do that, we publicize that. Then we can show these donors that got a lot of money, say, hey, we're doing something good in the community. We're reaching out to underprivileged kids and teaching them a skill that they can use their whole life that may turn into a career for them, stuff like that. And we have something to show, publicly, then,
I mean, we might be a radio organization or a group of organizations around radio hobby, but that does not mean that we cannot step out and help the community in other ways.
Yeah.
We can just pick a subject, that's something we want to do.
It's all about the people and the time we have, though, and I don't know.
If we start getting grants or we want to say, hey, we want to find one person that needs a roof, somebody that doesn't have the money, that's 80+ years old, then.
But we gotta understand too, there's organizations that want to and do donate money specifically to ham radio organizations. Well, ARDCCS, where we got ARD.
There are grants all over
That's who-
ARRL for clubs.
That's where Aries got their trailer from. I mean, they must have asked for $30,000 for all that set up, and they got it.
Yeah.
We asked for 5,500, 6,000 or whatever it was, and they wrote a check like that. They approved it. Cool, great, here you go. And I talked to the guy personally up in Dayton a couple years ago, and he said, sometimes we have trouble finding people to give money to, like they're not asking for it enough.
Yeah.
And we got more money than we can give out. So I'm already writing them another letter saying, hey, what I'm calling it is hardening our equipment. We have equipment that is either old, we have antennas that are designed to be on, someone's house at 30 feet that are 300 feet in the air that aren't gonna live and last.
Yeah.
And we need to start thinking about running our communications like a commercial communication system at that level, because ultimately we're supposed to be supplementing a system that could fail, but our system is actually weaker in a lot of areas, right? So we need to get these $2,000, $2,500 antennas that can handle 200-mile-an-hour winds. We need to make sure we're using the best lightning suppression. We need to make sure we're using the most reliable equipment. So I'm already putting it together, and I guess I just need Justin or Daniel's signature on it when I'm done to go to them and say, hey, we'd like to get, we built this communication system. We've shown success with it. We've had all these events, and we have videos and pictures, and we can document that for them to show, hey, here's where your investment went. And it genuinely did grow interest in amateur radio in our community, not only within people that are already hams, but new hams. It was used as an educational tool. It was used as a promotional tool, the way we said. And we can show them that success. And now we can say, okay, here's the next initiative we're taking. We've done that. We're still continuing with that. But now we need to harden our systems, because all I heard today was we got an old radio that's a decade old in one spot, old repeater that's doing this, antennas that are Diamond X50 antennas that we're gonna put 400 feet up on a bridge. And I wasn't kidding when I said it could only last 4 weeks up there. So I think that needs to be.
Well, let's
We
get together.
reach out.
One of the first things I did when I got this secretary position was reach out to a number of places. ICOM and Yaesu, DX Engineering. In fact, DX Engineering has gotten back to me, and they're willing to work with us on purchasing equipment and stuff like that. ICOM sent us all that
secretary
free,
right now?
yes.
Okay.
ICOM sent us all that.
Sorry,
free
I've been out of it.
gear.
Year.
All right. They sent us all that free gear that I gave away at one of the club meetings, which was really cool. So, let's continue, because I've been asking, trying to ask around people. Yeah, he's still got a pin.
So I need to get your email then and get this over to you to review and Cause I've written it up and all we need to do is really submit it to them, and put the right names on it, cause I don't have any position in the club and that's actually
My
the
job.
secretary.
Do we have a PR person in the club?
That's you.
Because the Texas and the Carolinas and Kentucky and all that is a prime example of how we could exemplify what a hardening this equipment would benefit.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they were, local infrastructure was wiped out in a lot of these places.
Yeah, well, let's definitely get my email and let's.
And
get
while you're
together
reaching out to
and,
people,
Putting all that in.
Yeah.
look online, Ben, at Trail Life.
You may already be in there, but.
It is
I'll let you
now
know.
what the Boy Scouts should have been all along. And I won't take the time right now to explain it to you. If you're interested, I'll explain it to you later.
Okay.
But that's a youth organization that's really catching hold. And communication would be a good field for some of them to look into.
Yeah, I tried to talk to Jack about this because he said he had done some stuff for getting grants before. And he's a little aloof, to say
Yeah,
the.
to say the least.
Yeah.
About working closer
Yeah.
with the city, because I know that other,
I'll put
like
call
other
sign
cities,
under,
other clubs are like participating in marathons or Ironman kind of stuff, you know, providing communications. Maybe that's the way to participate in such
Yeah.
events, to get money from the city.
Well, the city's never, I don't think, has given amateur radio a dime in the history.
Like
here.
Houston, like 2-3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I heard myself from the repeater that ham radio operators were, you know, providing communications.
Let me get some light on that.
Under company there.
Her son is with the fire department. He's an officer in the fire department. And she was mentioning to him that today on the phone about her getting involved in ham radio. And he said, yeah, they're a bunch of busybodies.
Yeah.
And I explained to her how that when we have a mass casualty incident,
Mhm.
we man the hospitals, we man all of these things. And the city even maintains 3 ham radios downtown, or it used to be 3. I don't know if it's more now or not. But there's a need for communication, reliable, trained communications.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's what we need to build on when we're reaching out for these grants and things.
Mhm.
Because it's nice that it's there,
Yeah.
but let's
Yeah,
build
like
a
in- like in
good, let's build a
Carolina,
good system.
in Helena,
You were
right?
talking about that coax. I learned with Bell South, Fulu with real expensive cables. You can cut off a foot and throw it away a lot easier than you could stretch it an inch.
That's right.
You don't want to get in that situation. Cause you're losing how many decibels per connection?
Yeah.
Depends on the connection.
Yeah, it depends on the cable and the connection, but yeah. And a suggestion, because our repeater is pretty dead, I keep it on and monitor all the time. Let's get on that repeater and let's all work together, because we have that communication. Let's be on there, be active and be talking to each other, and let's make this stuff happen.
I've been trying for 2 months to break this ice. When I was involved with Range before, it was jokingly called the food channel. Everybody get off from work and we'd be signing on and people were chatting. And so, I'd say, well, yeah, I'm gonna go pick the wife up. We're gonna go over here. Well, you get there and 6 or 8 hams pull in too. And it was called.
I've heard that. I've heard people talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's because the repeater was active.
Yeah.
And that's one question I've been wanting to ask. I can't get on 7.6 with this. And it's programmed.
I wonder if it's that shadowing because of that antenna. being-
Again, that was back when.
Oh, he's right by you, that's
Back
right.
when the 7.6 machine was the
It was
premier
no repeater.
repeater. It was the
But it
flagship
was
repeater
386
for
feet.
Jacksonville.
It was 386 feet
It's
right here on.
no longer-
Tower.
It's no longer the flagship repeater.
Yeah. Oh, we need to make it that way again.
How do we do that? We become active.
Yeah.
We get
Talk
a
on it.
multi-million-dollar grant to
Yeah.
buy a piece of land.
That's what I'm saying.
Erect
Build
a
towers.
1,000 foot, erect a 1,000 foot commercial tower, then
Yeah.
sell space on that tower to indefinitely support the club. And imagine having something
We
like
need,
that.
yeah, we have a big ham shack where we can all go have
So you
fun.
just need a big,
Do contests there and all kinds of
you
stuff.
know, 30 to 50 acre piece of land so we can run guys and
Guys,
foot
I've gotta
tower.
get out of here. I
That
apologize.
day you could.
We only really need like, if you think, we only really need like, what, $2-3 million probably.
Yeah, at a time.
Well, you could do like an
Couple of towers.
Are we closing? They were giving.
Pair of towers, right?
I don't need to close. I gotta get out of here.
I thank you, everybody, for showing up at the meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bill.
And if you need help with Motorola, possibly help you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, it's a place like Boy Scouts.
In the building.
That's what I was thinking.
Leave. Okay, there's the button.
Turn this meeting off there. End button.
And ask
Folks said, we'll take it over.
the council if they would be interested